Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're seeing this, then this must have worked out okay for me. So, you should have already seen a video. We're traveling backwards in time. You should have seen the video where I carved up this piece from the Black Opal Direct beginner's parcel, wherever I've put that container, somewhere over here. So this was the biggest chunk that I got in the Black Opal Direct beginner's parcel. If you've seen the video, you're aware, but if not, I'll just go over it quickly. It was quite a large piece, as you can see in my hand, and I hunted for a little bit of colour there somewhere, and I never saw any at any stage, so I decided that I would do something special with it. So Justin from Black Opal Direct got me into all of this, really. I've always been interested in opal, but actually carving it just seemed, well, I'd never really thought about it. And then I saw his channel and thought, you know what, it's actually not that hard. I mean, he's an absolute pro at it, so he'll make everything look easy. But it's actually really not that hard. You just need to know how to get started. And one thing that he had, well, one thing that got me into it is I was interested in doing more of the carving rather than cutting on the wheels. And his father carved him a frog at some point, probably fairly early on, to get him interested in it. And I don't know, for some reason I saw this massive chunk of potch and I thought, it's not going to produce any colour. I might actually try to do a bit of an artistic carving. So I am going to make my own little frog. It's probably impossible to tell from the scribbles that I've put on here, but this is the frog. You guys already know how it's panned out if you're watching this, so yeah, at this point I don't know what it's going to turn out like. I am unusually nervous about it. I'll be scrapping both videos and you'll never see any of this if it doesn't work out to some sort of level. I'm sure it'll be at least comical, but yeah, I just want to do it as a bit of a tribute to the man that got me into it, Justin's father. I believe his name was Jürgen. And yeah, I'm going to basically take this massive piece of potch. There's his little face. It's going to be a bit of a skinny frog. I want like a little narrow little, I don't know, like a rainforest frog. I've seen a few on National Geographic and I'm just going with that. Basically a little arms out the front, little arms out the back. Yeah, got some scribbles of some areas that I've got to get rid of, and we'll slowly go from there. But yeah, I'm gonna head off and attack this with the real strong grit bits, the 80 odd diamond coated bits, and try my best, basically. It's going to be my first kind of carving to produce some sort of artistic thing rather than letting the colour bar do the talking for me. Which, yeah, is a bit concerning, but you never know till you try. So I'm just going to give it a good crack. I can't draw a frog very well. I'm sure I can't carve a frog very well, but I just want to do it anyway. So yeah, be back in a sec. It is coming along well. So, little froggy. I'm actually pleasantly surprised at how easily this has been carved up. You can see that it's fogging over. That's a bit of defocusing. Here we go. So you can see it's fogging over. I've just been using that really coarse 80 odd grit bit. I haven't done anything with the face really. I've given him these little eye arches, so I've just got to drill some eye holes in there. Yeah, his leg comes out. I can't, because of the size of this, it's a big chunk of black potch, but it's nowhere near as big as the one that Justin's got. So I'm not going to be going through and webbing, doing some web toes or anything like that. But yeah, I've tried to make him a bit of a skinny boy in this kind of direction, but a little bit of a plump little froggy. So yeah, little back legs, front legs. I want to increase these a little bit. There's some fractures and stuff coming up here and there. I'm not overly worried about that, just because it's an artistic piece, but yeah, I'm definitely not an artist, but it's coming along well. I'll give him a dunk. Frogs love the water. And he actually comes up with this nice little pattern. So he's going to have a little bit of a black back there, and his little tummy's a bit dark as well. I want to change these. These are, I don't know what kind of frog would have front legs and feet like that, but not this one. Probably shorten those and make them less pointy. But yeah, might change the profile of his tummy a little bit there. He's actually coming along quite well. I was really worried before I started this, and now I'm not quite so worried. I have been staring at pictures of frogs for a long time now, so I was hoping to get okay. I don't like how the front legs are, but I can't really change it too much now. So I just got to give him some little eyes, bit of a mouth. And because this is from the beginner's parcel and the frog's pretty rough, I'm not going to go at it with the Nova tips, because my Nova tips are the largest size and they are as big as the frog. So that's not going to help me get into the grooves. So I'm going to use the Gem Cuts carving starter kit. Go back to this old kit. And yeah, just work my way through. I don't think I need to actually really give it a proper polish, but I'll see what it looks like after this, and then I'll give it a rub with some of these, I guess. And just to avoid that fogging that you saw at the start, because I don't want to have to wet him every time. Though frogs do live in water, don't they? Amphibians. So I don't know, maybe I kind of like the idea of actually having him fog up and then you chuck him in the water and then you can see what he is. I don't know. But I'll play with him a little bit more, finish off his face instead of having a weird melted face texture style thing. And yeah, might just emphasize some of these grooves and probably just even him out a bit. You can see there that there's a bit of a sunken piece where the bits chomped out his tummy a little bit. So I'm just going to round him out a bit more. Pretty happy with the shape of him overall. The pattern of him I'm not overly worried about, but I'm kind of pleased with how it's turned out. So yeah, I'll be back in a sec when he's looking a bit happier in the face. Just really sharp little mouth, I think, and then some little eyes, and then just work on a bit of the curvature around the place. But I hope I'm doing it a little bit of justice, since I'm trying to do this in memory of Justin's father, who got me into the idea of using a Dremel. So yeah, I don't know what I'll call him yet. Maybe leave it in the comments. I don't want to name it after Justin's father, because it's not a masterpiece, and I think he deserves a bit better than having his name attached to a crude little potch frog. So I'm not going to do that to him, but we are going to need a name for this little guy. So yeah, once I finish it, you can have a look and we'll see what we come up with. Do you see something lurking in the depths? So let's get him out. He's my little frog. He's got little eyes now. I decided not to put a mouth on him. He doesn't need to be overly detailed. If I was giving him webbed toes and everything, I'd go through the effort of putting in a mouth, but all of that needs a bigger piece. But yeah, look at him. He's a nice, sleek, skinny little boy. It's a little bit wide, but we're not here to fat shame him. Got a little bit of a crystal bum on him, but I didn't want to make him any smaller and just make him fit the black potch, and I reckon it just gives him more character anyway. So yeah, this is it. This is the making of my little frog. So hopefully Justin likes him a little bit. Well, even through the process of grinding this, it's probably taken 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours to get to this point. Maybe just 1.5 hours. It's taken well over an hour at the very least. So, yeah. For a first attempt at carving a opal into a animal, I'm actually quite pleasantly surprised at how well it turned out. It's fairly symmetrical. He looks less symmetrical because of the weird patterns, and the black is kind of deceptive, and the crystal makes half of him disappear, but he's actually fairly symmetrical. I wish it was a bigger piece so I could do proper webbed feed and the likes, and maybe have a little bit more detail with the legs, but no, I'm quite happy. Almost looks slightly like a frog. That part there feels a bit more raised than that side, but that could just be the black patterning as well. But yeah, I made myself a little frog buddy. He'll sit somewhere on my desk, I guess. He's not the best paperweight, he's pretty light, but yeah. And this is, I don't know which stone it is, but it would have been in the title of the last video. So yeah, if anyone was interested on how I made this little guy, it was literally just that crude drawing that I put on it at the start, gave it the basic shape, and then using an assortment of the 80 grits. I mean, the eyes was a small ball point, grinding off the majority of the bulk and kind of getting between the legs and everything was this diamond coated bit. It's actually the one that has a bit of a lump on the front, that spot there. But for this I thought it would do the trick, and it did. And that's the width basically between the legs and everything. And then for some of the getting into making this groove and the likes, the exact one I'm not certain of, but one like this, just getting in there, getting some fine detail. I also use this to get the legs all sorted out. Kind of started with an anchoring point here, because otherwise you're just sliding all over the place. But if you get a little groove somewhere and then you work from there, you can you can get a fairly good shape going. And yeah, I think this has made me feel like I can actually do a little bit of sculpting with some of this potch. Maybe even an opal will come around with a maybe not a frog shaped calabar, but a calabar that moves a little strangely through a rock, and I'll be able to follow it a bit more confidently now, I think. So yeah, we still need a name for him, so any suggestions on a name, I'll probably engrave it onto his little tum. So yeah, if anyone comes up with anything I like, I will make sure to engrave it on there somewhere. Maybe just initials. Don't come up with some 26 character long name that I have to try to microscopically attach to him, but something simple. I'll engrave it on him. Hopefully I've done Justin's father a bit of justice. Well, not justice, but hoping it's a fitting tribute. It's far from as good as his frog. I don't know how long he'd been carving before he finished that frog that Justin's got, but yeah, even a couple years in, this is about as good as I can do with the small piece of potch. Maybe I'll try again later on with a bigger piece, but yeah. Little frog.